What's up, guys? How you doing? We're going to look at the question, how much is a guitar today? Okay, so the price of a guitar I'm just asking ChatGPT here. I already know, but I'm just kind of showing you how to research things yourself, and I'm going to give you the answers today, but if you can go ahead and research yourself, that's even better. Teach someone to fish. It's going to last a lot longer than just giving them a fish, as they say. Price of guitar can vary widely depending on several factors, such as the brand. So you get the big brands like Ibanez, Fender, Gibson's not around, I don't think, anymore. Epiphone, there's some big Martin, Taylor, depending on the style of guitar you want to get. Brand makes a huge difference. Is the quality going to be better? I would say depends on the guitar and what level you're at. Yamaha do great beginner guitars, but is an expensive Yamaha going to be as nice as like a nice Fender Strat? I don't know. I'd have to test that out. But if you're just beginning, you won't know the difference anyway. You won't be able to hear the sound difference. So just set a budget in your head. I only want to spend $100. Okay, I want one for free. Whatever you want, then you can figure out the channels of trying to find one. If you want one for free, go to the charity shop, see if they've got some for $10, $20. That's not free, sorry. If you've got a low budget, then go to a charity shop. If you want one for free, ask a friend, ask a family member, do you have a guitar knocking about that you're not using? Can I borrow it for a bit? Maybe go on Gumtree, Craigslist, whatever you can find, and see if someone's giving them away. Sometimes people are moving house, they don't use it anymore, they just want to get rid of it. There's lots of great, guitars that get left around. Right, so brands, well-known brands often command higher prices due to factors like reputation, quality control, and craftsmanship. So that makes a huge difference, especially the quality control and the craftsmanship. Yes, they can be made in China and Mexico and various other places, which isn't America, which isn't, one of the big four. But if they know how to design them, because they got the designs from Fender headquarters or Martin headquarters or whatever it is, and then they've got the design, they've got the right wood, they've got the right specifications, they've set up the assembly line, then in theory it should be exactly the same each time. The quality control should be high and the quality should always be up there. Type of guitar: acoustic guitars, electric guitars, classical guitars, and bass guitars can have different price ranges. So acoustic guitars, you can get cheap acoustic guitars like new, and they're fine, if that makes sense. As in, if you buy a £50 or $50 classical guitar, it's going to sound quite nice. It's not going to be incredible, but to the naked ear, someone who's just starting out, it's going to sound absolutely fine. I remember buying a £30 Spanish guitar off eBay about 15, 20 years ago, and it sounded fine. I don't know, I'm sure if I played a true classical guitar from Spain, authentic, really nice wood, beautifully crafted, new strings, etc., and I played them side by side, I'm sure I'd be able to tell the difference. But just playing around at home, it sounded great. Electric guitars, I find that the cheaper the electric guitar, it's more about the pickup and the wood than anything. So if you've got a cheap guitar, it generally means a cheap pickup. Even if they use the same wood, the pickup won't pick up the nicer sounds. So for example, even this £1,000 Gibson Les Paul that I got when I was a teen has a very muddy sound because of the humbuckers on it. I think the humbuckers, maybe you can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that. And then my Fender Telecaster was just so much cleaner, so much clearer, and I spent the same amount of money. Maybe this needs like a tune-up or something, that maybe something needs fixing in the back end, inside with the wiring, I don't know. Maybe it's the pickup that needs, something needs changing. But whenever I played a gig, it had a very deep, muddy sound. So if I wanted to play like stronger music, rock, metal, whatever, then that works great. For the Telecaster, that generally works better and cuts through the mid-range a lot cleaner than that one. Okay, so that's just a little bit about that, about cheap electric guitars. If you don't know the difference between the sounds, you won't recognize anyway, but you're not going to get one. I think you can get some packages for like £130 or something. So if we look here, for some reason I need to load this twice, I'm not sure why. But if you've got like one of these little Stratocaster fakes, £100. Okay, and you get the guitar, you get the amp, the wires, some picks, a bag, some other bits and bobs. So that'll do you fine. If you don't know, it's only got one pickup, it's fine. If you don't know the difference between anything, it doesn't matter. So £100 is probably going to be your cheapest. You can get Loog. Is it Loog guitars? These are in brand with Fender, but even these, just the Loog by itself, these tiny mini guitars, still selling for £93. So there you go. Right, next, classical guitars. Again, with classical guitars, you can generally get them cheaper. £50, because it doesn't have the electronic side. Again, the quality is going to range, and you're not going to know the difference if you don't know the difference. But if you have a look around, then look, £30. Oh, that's a toy. Smith Toys. Okay. GAC. This looks like it's second-hand, £70. So you get the idea, but this one's 600, so handmade in Spain. It should sound better, you'd hope. Okay. AliExpress, £12.45. So is that going to sound good? I really don't know. The thing I find with the cheaper guitars, sometimes some of the frets don't come out, so one of them will just be buzzy, and you'd have to get it redone at a shop. Okay, and bass guitars, I'm not a bass guitarist, but I know you've got to treat bass guitars similar to electric guitars, 6-string ones. You can get deals like this, 95 for a bass and an amp and all the bits and bobs. But again, I've got a bass here, it's a Gear for Music bass, because I don't really play, I just kind of sometimes make some demos on Logic, and so I just use that as, for some more natural bass. Again, it doesn't sound like a Fender P bass, which is like a really nice electric guitar. It doesn't have the same timbre and all that kind of stuff, but it does the job if you don't know what you're talking, if you don't know what you're listening for. If you're more experienced, then of course you want to invest in something that's a lot better. So a Fender P bass, for example. So this one's 1800, this one's 769. So again, they vary depending on the woods, the this and the that. This one, if it's vintage, again, you're going to pay a lot more. For me personally, vintage guitars, especially ones that were played by the big bands, at the time they were brand new, straight out of the factory onto the stage. So are they going to play better now? If they've been maintained and all of that stuff, then maybe. But I wouldn't say because it's been played by Van Halen 40 years ago that it's going to be better than a guitar that you buy fresh and new. But if you're buying for different reasons, like it's been played by Van Halen, I want it in my house, that's a different story. Type of guitar materials, type of wood used for body, neck, fretboard can impact the price. High quality tone woods like mahogany, rosewood and spruce are often found in more expensive guitars. Yeah, fair. And the other thing is solid. There's basically, normally when they put a guitar together, they'll make the neck, and then they'll make the body, and they'll make all the pieces separately, and then they'll put it together. But if you get a solid wood guitar where there's no fixing and it's all just one solid thing, then in theory it's going to sound better because it's one uniformed piece of wood. But I haven't tested it out, and I think for a beginner, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, so if you can, have a look at where the wood is, what wood it is that could influence your buying decision. Construction handmade, okay, again, in theory, handmade is going to be better, or custom built by a luthier, which is a guitar maker, tend to be more expensive than mass-produced models due to the craftsmanship involved. So not only does it take hours and hours to put it all together, but it also takes years of experience to get it right. So you could probably do it, but it might take you 6 months, I don't know, 3 months, 2 months, depends how handy you are with wood and putting things together. But for a luthier, in theory, it might be quicker, but they'll do it in a much nicer way. There's so many detailed parts, like even just getting these little dots in, just getting those nice, getting the right shapings for things, all influences the sound and the way it tunes. If you get the neck slightly bent and it's warped, and you don't put the truss rod in properly, which is the metal pole that goes right through the neck to keep it straight, then again, you're going to have issues. So guitars with additional features like built-in electronics, exotic wood finishes, or intricate inlays may have higher prices. So yeah, again, unless you're really into that kind of stuff, it's not really going to make a difference to you. So if we look up a Gretsch guitar, so this kind of style, mentioned in another video, which is very much the style of the Les Paul Log, I think it's called. If it will load. The original Les Paul Log, yes, which is probably one of the first more famous guitars, if you like. Built in the 40s, 1940 was it? That's got like this inlay here, it's got that F shape, it's got, if you look closely here, this one's used, but it's got that metal thing at the bottom. It's obviously got the electronics, it's got the pick guard, which is raised, it's got 4 like tone and volume switches, or 2 volume, 2 tone, I imagine. It's got the pickup changer, and then the inlay is just at the top, and then it's got the Gretsch thing at the top. It's like a really beautiful guitar. Even the tuning pegs are different from your average thing. So there you go. So on the lower end of the spectrum, you can find beginner level guitars priced around $100 to $300, which is kind of what I said. You can borrow one off a mate for free. You can get one cheap on Gumtree, or a charity shop. They might be selling them for 10 to 20 bucks or something. But as you saw before, you could buy one for £50, $50 first hand if you wanted to just get started and you didn't care about it. Intermediate level 3 to 800, I would agree with that. While professional grades can cost anywhere to 800 to several thousand. So even just that's $2.5 grand. So, it depends on how keen you are. So ultimately, the price you pay for a guitar will depend on your budget, skill level, and specific preferences. In terms of sound, playability, and aesthetics, it's recommended to try out different guitars within your price range. Find out which one suits you best. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Pick your budget, pick what you're going to use it for. If you're in a band and you want to do that kind of stuff, if you just want to play at home, if you're buying it for your kid, you have to think about what budget and how long they're going to stick to it will determine how much you want to spend, and how much money you have will determine how much you want to spend on it. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. I will see you in the next one. Take care.